Everybody. Well, it's spring outside. The weather is getting warmer. And one sign of spring is you can see that there are bugs outside. We can see worms, bumblebees, and ladybugs. And my favorite, the butterfly. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to learn a lot of things about that butterfly and the life cycle of a butterfly. And when we talk about butterflies, we have to talk about that very tiny, very hungry caterpillar. And a butterfly there are 4 stages to a butterfly. And the first stage is the egg. Stage number 1, the egg. I know it's hard. There we go. There's the one that you can read. And the first stage is an egg. An egg is laid on a leaf. And that egg is very, very tiny. And inside, that little tiny bug that's in there stays in there for just a few days. And then they use their jaws to break through that egg and to pop out. And once they pop out of the egg, we are into stage 2. Stage 2. No longer an egg on a leaf, but a tiny little caterpillar. And that tiny caterpillar grows and grows. How does it grow? It grows to be a bigger caterpillar by eating. And you ask, what does a caterpillar eat? A caterpillar has a mouth and jaws, so it loves to eat leaves. It likes to eat leaves. Do you think maybe a caterpillar would eat cheese? No, I don't think a caterpillar eats cheese. Oh, and my caterpillar fell. Whoops. All right, keep them on there. And do you think a caterpillar would eat cereal? I don't think so. Caterpillars don't eat cereal. Like I said before, they eat leaves. All different kind of leaves. Look at that. Different kinds. Even leaves from plants. Maybe if you're growing flowers or you have a tree outside, or if you're growing vegetables, you can see the caterpillars might eat the leaves. Now, let's take our leaves off. And let's talk a little bit more about that caterpillar, because he's a big, fat caterpillar now. And he'll be able to show us different parts of that caterpillar's body. Now, a caterpillar has a head, just like we do. But they don't have 2 eyes. My caterpillar does. But real caterpillars have 6 eyes to see the different light. They also have 2 antennae on top. And that helps them to smell their food and to be able to find their food. Now, my caterpillar has some legs. And you know what? Real caterpillars have 16 legs. So they can move pretty fast. If you touch one that's on the ground very gently, they scurry away really fast. And the caterpillar also has 2 more parts to its body. It has a thorax and an abdomen. Now, you might be wondering, what happens at night? What does a caterpillar do at night? Do they sleep? Do they go into the house and sleep? Do they have some sort of home? Well, what they do at night is they go under a leaf and they hang upside down like this. This is a picture of a monkey hanging upside down. But caterpillars hang upside down on leaves. I'll show you. Here's my leaf and here's my caterpillar. But what they do is they go under the leaf, hanging upside down. And they're not really sleeping. They're really just resting until the next day, when they can eat, eat some more. Now, that caterpillar, he's so big, isn't he? He's ready to change from the second stage to stage 3. And in stage 3, the caterpillar builds itself a big, giant cocoon. And that is a protective covering around it. And that keeps it safe. And they go in there for 2 weeks. Kind of like sleeping, kind of like hibernating like bears in the winter. But they're in there for 2 whole weeks. And while they're inside, something happens. A big giant science word called metamorphosis. That's when the mouth of the caterpillar changes and it's no longer a mouth, it's something else on a butterfly. It's a big long straw, how the butterfly eats. Also, the wings are starting to form on a caterpillar. And after 2 weeks, the caterpillar wiggles its way out and they're no longer a caterpillar, but a beautiful butterfly. And now we are done with stage 3. We are on to stage 4 and the butterfly. And let's talk about that butterfly. That butterfly, let's talk about the body parts of the butterfly. Since they once were a caterpillar, they still have a head, a thorax, and an abdomen, but now they have wings so they can fly. And they also have 2 antennae at the top to help them smell their food, to find out which ones they can eat and which ones they can't, and also to keep them balanced when they land on pretty flowers. Look at that. They like to land on flowers. And like I said before, when a caterpillar is inside the chrysalis, their mouth changes into a big long straw. So, because of that, because a caterpillar has a mouth and a butterfly does not, butterflies eat different things than caterpillars do. Do you think without a mouth, a butterfly could eat pizza? I don't think so. Do you think without a mouth, a butterfly could eat candy? No. How could they chew it? That's crazy. Well, what they do is they drink the nectar from the flowers. And that's kind of like sugar water. They can also drink the juice from an orange or a grapefruit. So they drink fruit juice too. So if you had a butterfly in a jar, you could give them a piece of fruit to drink. And how do they drink it? Remember I said they have a big long straw that they can drink out of. Well, that's kind of like you and me. We drink juice boxes or we drink from a cup. Well, I'm going to show you. This is my cup, and I'm going to pretend I have some juice in there. And this is my big long straw, and I'm going to drink like a butterfly. I'm going to land on my flower. My flower is on top. I'm going to drink some of my juice. Ooh, very good. So I encourage you to be just like a butterfly and to drink from a straw next time, from a cup. Now, we've learned about the caterpillar. Let's get my caterpillar. The caterpillar and the butterfly. Now, what's going to help us remember all about that caterpillar and butterfly? We're going to do a little activity to help us remember. So I'm going to grab a tray, and on my tray, I have a whole bunch of things. Things to remind me about a caterpillar and a butterfly. Now, I need a marker. On my paper, I have a piece of blue paper. I picked blue because it looks like the sky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my paper in half. I'm going to fold it just like this and make a nice line there so I have it in half. Now, I'm going to fold it in half again. There we go. So now I have a big long strip. Now it's a strip. So now, because it's all folded, I'm going to open it. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Now, along with my piece of paper, you're going to need a marker. And maybe black will work. But if you want green or brown, that'll work too. But today, I just have a marker. I have purple because that's what I could find. But that's okay. Any color you want. And the first thing we're going to do is in this first strip right here. We're going to label it with a number 1. Remember when we learned how to write our number 1s? How do we write it? We start at the top. Let's move this over. We start at the top of the paper. And we go down, a straight line down. 1 line down, lots of fun. That's how you make a number 1. Good job. Now, in my number 1 spot, first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a leaf. It doesn't matter how your leaf looks. However you think a leaf should look, you're going to draw your leaf. All right, I'm going to draw my leaf. I'm going to draw pointed at one end. Oh, that's a little tiny leaf. Or you can draw it even bigger if you want. You can draw a little stick at the top, a little line down the middle. There are 2 different leaves. Those are perfect. Now what you're going to do is you're going to find some items that look like an egg on a leaf. And what I have for my items, I have some things I found around the house. And the first thing I found was, I'll put my paper down, are some candies. They're called Nerds candies. You know, they're kind of hard to see, but if anybody ever knows what a nerd is, little tiny, tiny piece. And I'm going to use my Nerd candies. I'm going to take 2 of the white ones, and I'm going to take some glue, and I'm going to stick glue on my leaf, and I'm going to glue it on. And after I glue it on, then I'll show you. I'm going to stick on the bigger leaf, I think. Oh, my glue should work. Glue it on. There we go. Sometimes it takes a lot of time for that glue to come on. So now I have 1 piece of candy. Oh, and I have 2 pieces of candy. There's my egg on a leaf. Now, other things you can use for an egg are some beads, some tiny white pom-poms, or some rice. You can use some rice. I don't know why I have candy with me. You can use some different grains of rice. All right. And now, we're going to go from the egg on a leaf to a caterpillar. And the second thing we're going to do, did it fall off? Mm-hmm. Is we are going to write a number 2 in our spot. So I'm going to lay mine flat. And remember, number 2, around and back on a railroad track. That's how we make a tutu. All right. And for the second one, we're going to glue a caterpillar on there. And I am going to use a curly noodle. You could use a piece of a straw, or you could use the bendy part of a straw, or you could use a whole bunch of pom-poms and make those look like caterpillars. And yes, my pom-poms are sparkly. Everybody needs a little sparkle in their life. So I'm going to use my curly noodle, and I'm going to glue it on. I need lots of glue on here. I'm going to glue it on. Put extra glue so it doesn't fall off. I'm going to glue it on. Doesn't want to stick. There we go. Lots of glue. All right. Now I have 2 spots. I have my egg on a leaf and my caterpillar. Now I'm going to move on to section 3. That is a chrysalis. But first, we're going to write a number 3 on there. Around the tree, around the tree. That's how you make a number 3. And my chrysalis today is going to be a seashell pasta. And my poor caterpillar fell off. That's sad. It's because it's wet and it hasn't dried yet. So if I hold it like this, I'm going to use a seashell pasta for my chrysalis. I'm going to put lots of glue on there. And I'm going to glue it on there. You can use seashell pasta, or you can use a piece of a paper bag and just curl it up to look like a chrysalis. So here's my egg on a leaf, my curly pasta for my caterpillar, and my seashell for my chrysalis. Next, I have my last one, my favorite one, the butterfly. And I'm going to do my number 4. So remember, down and over, down once more. It's how you make a number 4. And what I'm going to use for my butterfly is a bow tie pasta. You can use bow tie pasta, or you can use a piece of tissue paper. I'm going to stick my bow tie pasta on there. And there you have it. That's our activity for today. So I encourage you to find things around your house to do your activity. Have a good day and happy experimenting. Bye, everybody.